Gather round, friends, new and old, and welcome to the POWWOW podcast. I am your host, Philip.
And I'm your other host, David.
Oh, goodness gracious. It has been a week, and to be quite honest with you, David...
This is how you bring in every episode, man. Goodness gracious, it's been a week.
Yeah.
It has been a week.
It has been a week. It will be, and to be quite honest with you, it's going to be another week of activities, of busyness, of a flutter, but I'm looking forward to it. I am. We'll more so address that next week, and I love that we're teasing next week's episode at the top of this episode.
Yeah.
But that being said, for us, it makes sense because we will be filming them back to back. Again, a bit of a tease of things to come. But hello, David. Welcome. I see you are in full football regalia. Are you? Am I to understand that you're going to be enjoying the entirety of tonight's Monday Night Football game? For those in the future listening who will not care past us recording this will be a beloved of David Chargers.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
talking of my beloved. David's Chargers.
It's my beloved versus Phil's beloved. The Chargers versus the Broncos tonight on Monday Night Football. You guys already know the result, or maybe you just don't give a shit. But no, I will not. I will say why, because I did a shift at work today from 2 until 7. Super easy shift, but finished at 7. Here we are recording the podcast until probably 11, 12, who knows. And then I have to be at work at 7:30 in the morning. So I will be watching the game, but I plan on getting up at around, like the game's at 2 something. I'll get up around 3:34 and start it from the beginning, and I'll get to skip all the ads.
Okay, I see. So you're going to watch it in a world...
I'll finish it more or less at the same time that the game actually finishes, but I won't be watching it in real time from
truly
the beginning.
Live. Okay.
See, I've thought this through because there's no part of me that would want to miss the game for one, or worse, have to like wait until not check the result and then accidentally get a spoiler from either you, Phil, or from Twitter or something because I'm not thinking about it, and get a spoiler and know what happens before I've seen the game. So no, I'm going to be watching it early in the morning, not getting much sleep tonight, but so be it. The things we do for love. The things we do for love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we love a little Justin Herbert. All right. That is that fills the quota for our sports and fantasy talk of the episode. So thank you for joining us, as pretty much whenever the football season occurs. That is our guilty pleasure. So thank you. We assure you that we have a great episode to follow here, and we are excited for you to listen. And it has nothing to do with football, but it does have some fantasy elements, I will admit. Just probably not football at all. But please, give it a listen. Here we go. David, let me throw some numbers at you here. We've got 62 million. We've got 152 million.
Number of craps I've taken in my life.
We've got 92 million. But at the top, we've got 182 million. What is that? What does that even mean?
I don't know. These are all just very big numbers, Phil. Tell me what it means.
Those are the results in order of the POWWOW Movie Draft 2021 Spectacular that the only Gareth Boucher, who came on and helped us do that little movie draft back a couple months ago now.
This was ages ago.
Ages ago. We were in a different world. COVID still existed, so it was pretty much the same. But I digress. Gary Boucher came on and helped us pick out a few movies, and he picked the correct movies. He did not mess up his draft, had the number 1 overall pick, picked Thor, Love and Thunder, and that did him well, as that was his top earner. And as such, well, first of all, let's welcome Gary to the podcast. Gary, welcome. Congratulations.
Welcome, Gary.
Victory lap.
Gary.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. The Lady Luck looked kindly upon my face, give me that first pick. It was a no-brainer.
Yeah, it was
more like Chris Hemsworth looked upon your face and smiled.
Exactly.
As if you were Chris
And he
Pratt.
was naked at the time.
Yeah.
Now, I want to clarify, because Phil and I have a general idea of how many people listen in and out each week, but we don't know who is listening, and so we don't know how many people are regular listeners. So if you don't know what the hell we're talking about, at the beginning of the summer, we Phil and I each brought on a guest. Phil brought Gary. I brought my friend Devin, and we took it in turns picking movies that were going to come out in the following 2 months up until August something. We would draft a movie, and that would be our movies. We each drafted 4 movies. We took it in turns. Gary had the first pick, and he picked Thor: Love and Thunder, and that really was the clincher, not the clencher. and so Gary won. He the competition was who could draft the most revenue on the opening weekend of each film, and Gary won by a landslide, as Phil outlined with those big numbers. You can rewind and listen to those if you care to. But the fact of the matter is, Gary, you are a winner.
My Marvel nerds came through. Thank you guys for going to see that mediocre movie. It really paid off so that you can come here today and hear about a better movie.
Marvel nerds and just about everybody else.
Yeah, well, Gary, here, I'm just curious on your own personal involvement in these. Obviously, I have to assume that you saw Thor: Love and Thunder. Yes.
I did.
Right, you are nodding. Okay, so, but the real question remains here. On your complementary team, there is no super team that does not exist without teammates and a following ensemble. Did you watch, as part of your 4 movies here, you watched Thor: Love and Thunder, did you watch number 2, DC's Super Pets? Did you help boost your own numbers here?
I gotta tell you, man, I had a thing.
You skipped it.
That run of the movie, I was very busy. I had no time to go see another Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson thing.
Honestly, no, I did not. Only the opening weekend would have counted towards your score anyway. So you'd have to.
You're right. I was busy for sure.
Yeah, he was busy that weekend. All right, number 3. Did you get a chance on opening weekend to watch Paws of Fury?
Oh my God! Did I took 2 animated movies?
You took 2. You said it was the summer of animation.
Bold,
dude. That I would have rather have seen that, but I also did not see Paws of Fury with Michael Cera and whoever else was in that. Yeah, no.
Samuel L. Jackson. How dare you forget
Sam Jackson? That's
the immovable cast. All right, last one, which if I had to bet my money on, I do bet that you actually did watch this.
Yeah.
Did you watch Bodies, A24's scary flick?
I took my mom to it. I should have known better. My mom, her taste is so different than mine, and sometimes I drag her to movies because I know that she's going to be like, why the f*** did you take me to this movie? 10 minutes in. I did see it. I enjoyed it. Mom, not so much. I don't think she really gets like what's the hype around Pete Davidson. I mean,
to be fair though, I feel like that's me too.
That's general.
He's all right. But whenever I see him in a commercial for Smart Water, it absolutely confuses me. When I see him in a commercial for Taco Bell, that marriage works. I understand that sponsorship, that connection. All right. The point being is that upon his victory, I reached out to Gary and I said, Gary, you won. As you know, as I hope any of our returning audience members found out. And remember, your victory comes with a reward. And that reward is getting to choose whatever you want to talk about for this episode. And you knew, I didn't even need to give you a day to think about it. Immediately, without any hesitation, he said, we're going to Netflix. Okay, sounds good. Me and David nodded in agreement. Okay, we like where this is going. And we are going to watch, they came out with some very good original stuff recently. What do you want us to watch? This little Bollywood movie. I'm sorry, what are you talking about? It's called RRR. The 3 letters back to back to back. It's called RRR. Have you ever seen it?
Funny joke, Gary. Funny joke.
I gave you all some homework, some true homework. 3 hours of it.
3 hours of a Bollywood film that neither myself nor David had ever seen. Yeah, please.
It's Tollywood, not Bollywood. I just learned this too. Not to offend any of our Indian listeners. No, it's just a different language that's spoken in India, I guess. So there's Tollywood movies and there's Bollywood movies, and they're predominantly like one language or another.
Okay.
But I mean, it's part of the massive Indian film industry that pumps out movies like no one else. So,
and in a style all its own. So,
yes,
we watched this film. We are going to review it per Gary's wishes. Gary, I guess we'll start with you. Let's just even start at first. How did you stumble upon this movie, as me and David had never seen it? And what were your thoughts going into it? Did it exceed? Did it fulfill?
I like to keep up with reading like IndieWire and all the magazines that talk about, hey, here are the best movies you probably never heard of, or here are some cool movies that came out that you probably didn't have an opportunity to see, RRR was on there, and I saw that it was an action musical epic. And I was like, okay, what the hell is this all about? And it happened to be conveniently on Netflix, which all of you listening, I know you have access to it. Go check it out. But that's how I heard about it. I read about it in IndieWire or something. I did not know what to expect going in. And I was taken on a 3-hour cinematic roller coaster of emotions, the likes of which I have never seen before. So blew me away, man. It was insane.
The movie, for as a little synopsis before we get into, I guess, spoiler territory here.
Spoilers, yeah.
A tale of two legendary revolutionaries and their journey far away from home. After their journey, they return home to start fighting back against British colonialists in the 1920s. Okay. Came out in March 24th, 2022. Beyond this, there is no guarantee we will go anywhere and everywhere as this film takes us anywhere and everywhere, and there could be spoilers. So if you, for some reason, haven't seen, well, no, I guess, if you haven't seen this film, let's start there, and for some reason, you cannot stand to have us spoil it for you before going on, stop right now and go watch it, see us in about 4 hours, and then come back and listen to the rest of the podcast. Okay. Gary, I have so many thoughts on this film. How first of all, what impressed you the most off of its initial viewing? What did you walk away with? What were some first thoughts?
Big picture stuff. In my brain, there are movies and there are capital M movies. This is a movie that knows it's a movie. Every single shot, every single moment in the film is stuffed with as much emotion and eye candy as possible. It's firing on all cylinders in every conceivable aspect. It tries to make every single thing it shows you a 10 out of 10. When I think of this movie, I think of the word emotion. It's trying to make you feel every movement, every shot, every song, every bullet. It hits you like a freaking brick, and it's very proud of what it is. So that's why I love this movie so much. It's insane, truly insane. But there's so much good stuff in there, and if you don't like one part of it, there's something else for you. There's John Wick level action, there's musical numbers, it's all there. There's man candy.
Well, okay, so let's pick this apart. David, maybe you'll talk about this, because David, you've seen a fair amount of Marvel movies, as have I, and so we kind of become desensitized to all these action parts. David, I thought that the action was, if not the best thing about the movie, at least top 3. It was actually quite good. The action scenes in this film, in terms of choreography, conception, and just complete out of this world idea. For me to not know where the action was going at times, I knew what the ultimate end result would be, that people would live, but I wouldn't know how they get there when we see a horse and a motorcycle staring each other down, doing a chicken run towards each other. David, did you enjoy the fight choreography, the action sequences?
Oh, there's a long pause.
No.
Here we go. The biggest reveal of the entire POWWOW podcast. Did you not enjoy anything about this movie? Is that what we're to assume?
No.
Oh, wow.
You're hurting me, man. I'm just gonna sign off, man. This is hurtful.
So we have an entire episode.
I will not.
Damn.
Are you? Am I starting now? Am I going?
Go. I guess yes. The floor.
I will
is
not
yours.
be coaxed. I will not be coaxed into pretending that because this is a genre, or not even a genre necessarily, but this is an art form that I'm not familiar with, that I should then treat it as though it is somehow better than what it truly came to me as, and that was just a pile of okay.
Ouch.
Starting off at right at the beginning. Please. How many friggin' title sequences do we need from sponsors and
that
production
did take
companies?
A while. That did take a while.
Yeah. How many beginnings does the movie need to have? Why does it never stop being intense? Find levels. Find levels, for the love of me, please. Find levels.
Hey, there was a calm scene where they ate dinner, David. They ate in there.
Every single scene is like, oh my God, the world is like, I don't even know how to describe it.
So I think you and I are saying the same things, but we either liked it or hated it because you're like every scene, and I'm like every scene.
Well, to me, it's like, how am I supposed to react to this like crazy intensity and when that's happening in almost every single scene throughout the entire movie?
Can I?
Do they really have to? Do they really? Okay. Oh, you know what? I'll pause. I'll pause. Go for it, Phil.
Can I where I think the difference is between the two opinions? Yes, they are both saying the same thing with different reactions to it. I feel like the movie is like snorting coke, where the people who don't want to do drugs and hate that lack of control in oneself will not enjoy any lack and loss of self. That somebody doing coke will just be off the walls banging and enjoying the thrill ride that it is. It never stops being, and the word I would think of when I first came away watching this was epic. Not in all the best of ways that word could mean. Not like, oh, that was epic. No. I'm talking Gone with the Wind like levels of epic. I'm talking Ben-Hur levels of epic, where there are just grandiose events happening that all have just so much gravitas, so much going on with every action sequence that it never stops. Which again is exactly what Gary's saying, but to David's point, it is nonstop to where I'm constantly on this speed high that I can never get down, that by the end I am just exhausted. I had like the night sweats after watching this film, but by how tightly it gripped me and forced me to care about this man who crashes a truck and jumps out alongside Avenger style with a tiger, with elk, with I want to say like a rhino,
an
elephant,
wolves, some leopards in there,
tigers and
I mean an action sequence where you're jumping out Avenger style with these animals, and to top it off, you're not even allied with these animals because they're animals. They might even attack you. It was just a lot. Holy hell, David, back to you. Tag out.
I found the action to be a little ridiculous personally, because I don't mind superhero levels of action, but I can't handle when main characters or protagonists or even antagonists just don't have a weakness. Like they're better than their opponent at everything, and it just doesn't feel like there's any chance that they're going to lose at all at any point. And even things that are like inner things. So their love for their people or their love for a person is never a weakness for them. It's always just a point of strength. So that made it feel like there were no stakes, real stakes at least, throughout the movie. This was my biggest issue with the movie, because the intensity like bothered me in the sense that like you got to find levels, you got to find down points to highlight the ups in intensity. That is, do they have to spell every little thing out for you plot-wise? Like there's songs, and if you have the subtitles on while the songs are playing, it's like, these two enemies but friends, will this fight end in bloodshed, or will they find friendship
True
together?
brotherhood, yeah.
Yeah. It's like literally spoon feeding you the dynamic between these two characters who are at odds. It was painful. Now, amazing and bold that a film will go an hour as an intense action thriller, and then all of a sudden there is a musical dance number, which is super campy and out of nowhere. And I'm sure you guys loved that. I didn't care for it. I like the number, but if you're going to have musical dance numbers, you got to sprinkle them in, right? You can't just have one in the middle and then one at the end.
It ain't a dance till the women join a little nacho, David.
The movie lacked finesse, it lacked nuance, lacked any notion of higher intellect in terms of storytelling. I didn't like it. I liked the final musical number.
I did too. I agree.
Like after the credits?
Yeah, the credits. Yeah, the one right before the credits. That I enjoyed, because I was like, oh, Bollywood, fun. Or Tollywood, I'm sorry, whatever it is.
Can I ask, David, have you ever seen a Bollywood or Tollywood film before?
Yes.
Okay, and did you enjoy those?
One. It was a comedy.
That does change
years ago. The comedy wasn't necessarily, in tune with me. I wasn't in tune with it, I'll say. I don't remember hating it or loving it. I think it was kind of like, oh, okay, that was different.
Because one note for me as I transition back to Gary about this is that it did feel very, for all of its conception and action pieces and everything else, it did feel very on theme with a Bollywood and Tollywood feel movie. It had all the structure of what I would expect out of a Bollywood film. When I even started to watch it, it's almost just as how one would change their thoughts and view of a film. I would not judge, let's say, Scream or Bodies the same as I would judge or review Mank, as much as I would review Roma. On the same token as I would review DC Super Pets or Paws of Fury.
Yeah.
There are different scopes that I go into. So once I had to change my scope once we had 3 hours to really just dive into this. Because I know for me, one of my biggest takeaways from this, or negatives about this, was I looked, and when I saw that we still had a whole half of a film to go, an entire half of a film, when I actually checked in to see where are we, because I was starting to be like, okay, we feel like we're wrapping things up here. No, we had a whole other half of a damn film to go. For me, there wasn't a pacing problem. It was a length problem, an entire length problem. Good God, I was just exhausted by the end.
Yeah.
Gary, back to you.
I just want to say before we go to Gary, just because it's different doesn't mean it's good.
Okay. Gary, do you feel like there's some fairness in there, that it did feel akin to other Bollywood, Tollywood styles of film where it was online with that?
So this is so far out of the realm of anything I've ever seen. I haven't seen any, maybe like 1 or 2 in college. And I totally get
Bollywood films you haven't seen.
Yeah, no, that's right. Like no exposure really at all. And I was also taken out of it by the lyrics or the way that like the British people talked. Like the first line is, "How was your day of hunting?" "Oh, it was good rather." I just assumed that's part of the style. It was weird. Like they're singing, "Well, will these 2 men fight? Who will die and who will win?" And I was like, oh, well, it's like part of the culture, right? So that didn't bug me as much.
I'd say, yeah, the writing of lines in English was shaky. I was like, that's not how British people talk.
But see, that didn't bother me because they were. I don't know what it's like to have been ruled by another country, colonized. I don't know how I would present that, right?
And also imagine how it comes from whenever foreign countries watch films that are made in English, made in America. And
how do we show them?
Yeah, how do we show them?
Yeah.
We wouldn't know what that feels like. When I see that, I kind of have to take that with a grain of salt, knowing that they probably simplify English dialogue to make it more understandable for their native audience.
I'm not mad about what David is saying, because this is not a movie for everybody. It's f***ing insane. And a lot of people are going to be weirded out or turned off by a lot of the stuff that's in there. The length, the actual content of it, it's actually pretty hyper violent, or there are parts that, like you said, the villain doesn't really, it's really not about that, right? Like to me, the main tension line is between the 2 guys. But I do think, to your point too, Phil, at that halfway point, the first half of the movie is, I think, 5 times as better as the last, or more than the last half of the film. I think that when they crash the party with all the animals, that is the
movie should have ended there, to be quite honest.
Of the movie. Yeah, it feels like the climax of the movie, and we get more story, and they finally win. But to me, the first half of the movie is the better half, which is never a good thing to have in a movie. There's
I don't know if I'd call it a twist, where one of the characters, well, I don't know, he basically changes lane, and if you were to go back and watch the first half of the movie before he changes his perspective and his goals and everything, that first half of the movie won't make much sense.
It didn't make sense viewing it.
I didn't understand. I've only seen this once, and it didn't make sense. But especially if you were to rewatch it, all of that would be like, wait, but
okay. Watching it the first time, I could not believe, because I'd imagine when you're watching from afar, you don't know who the movie stars are, right? So for us, like whenever I see Robert De Niro in a leading role, or I will find it hard to believe that he's going to die early on in the film or what have you. I have these assumptions. So starting out this film, I didn't know who really any of the stars were. I didn't know where this would go. I had no idea based off of what I would know from modern cinematography and just having that pop culture knowledge about this type of movie. So with that, I had no idea that the main guy, one of the two main guys, was supposed to be a good guy, because holy hell, he was whacking civilians left and right to arrest one man. He was
How was that scene though?
He was a horrible dude.
How crazy was that?
It was crazy.
He took on a crowd of 500.
It was crazy, but he was paralyzing people, all but killing them. He was going like Zack Snyder levels of Batman on them just to arrest one guy. Holy hell. Man. And those were civilians.
The exact way that you're talking right now is what I love so much about the movie, because you're just like pulling your hair out like, what the fuck, right? Like every time I see a good action movie, there's like 2 to 3 of those instances where I get out of the movie and I'm like, dude, remember when John Wick sliced 4 guys' heads off and then jumped off the motorcycle? This movie has like 20 of those. Dude, remember when that? Like, it's insane. But I couldn't believe what I...
Hold on a second. I think the point is that it didn't make... It made it hard when he becomes a good guy later to be like, wait, but hold on a second. This guy like... did horrible things to civilians, and now it's like, oh, but
he tortured a guy. It's all,
but not like he's like a gray hero where he's like, like many characters from Game of Thrones, like Jaime Lannister was like, yeah, he's a horrible guy, but he also has redeeming qualities. No, they want you to go from hating him to being like, oh no, this is like Iron Man, greatest person of our generation, hero.
No, that's true. And once Beam finds out about Ram, he just forgives him immediately after whipping him publicly, like and almost killing him, right? So it is quick. It's like, oh, he has a mission? Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had a mission. Oh, my bad. I wouldn't have been mad at you if I would have known you had a mission. Yeah, I watched it again last night, and I did bump on that.
Where was the mission in the first half of the movie? I didn't see any of that mission.
It's tricky. It's like... See, these are the things that, we got roasted for, like in screenwriting school, right? Like you can't give us a character's complete backstory 2 hours in, right? Like it's definitely taking a chance there. It's all over the place.
To Gary's point, the 2 positives that I'm getting from, or at least 2 major takeaways from you. For Gary's point, I would agree. For myself, obviously, David probably not. I can give it this even regardless of the story, because I can isolate. I would say that there are highly identifiable action pieces, kind of like almost like Bullet Train, where I will remember things that happened on it because it utilized its set, it utilized its story, knowing that specifically in Bullet Train, that there are action pieces that can and only will ever happen in Bullet Train because it's isolated to that train. And going forward, I will remember it. I will be like, oh yeah, if I'm thinking of action pieces on a train set, I'm thinking of Bullet Train. In this film, I will remember, looking back, actually, I will remember the Jungle Book fight scene. I will remember him hunting that tiger and having to be swiped. I will remember even the torture where he's getting whipped and stuff and singing along while doing it. It was odd. There are a lot of staying power, I would say, where it stains your mind, where I will remember those visuals. There's a lot of good visuality, cinematography there at least. But to David's point, that vicious tempo, that while it keeps up a certain action tempo, it's like nonstop, just give me the good stuff, shoot me up. Even though it has a lot of that, it really doesn't have any time, and it doesn't give a damn about your character development. Like the bromance, which I think is arguably at the center of the entire film.
All-time movie bromance, let me just say. You've got Rocky and Apollo, you've got Beam
I'll give it that. I'll give it that.
It's unapologetically bromance.
It's a romantic bromance. Like there's real like.
Oh, it's a little homoerotic.
If this was a Western movie, I'd assume that there was something else going on.
Philip, when's the last time you squatted with David on your shoulders and gave him a little kiss?
I gave him a little. I never did that. But the fact that they kicked ass, and that they also had that they took out somebody's tires, like that is just next level. Way to go. But they really just push that on you. They're like, okay, after one fight, they are boom, friends for life. You want to talk about that romance between the water, the guy who symbolized water, and his love interest? boom, that happens fast. They just had a romance, even though they never really ever got over that language barrier. Even whenever they kind of did, it was still confusing to each other. So
I wanted to ask you that, like, do we think that she finally got some like maybe after the movie?
In the sequel, maybe. Okay. I want to talk about
Wait, hold on. Very important question. We'll get back to you, David. Is the sequel RRR2 or is the sequel RRRR?
Or is it
SSS? SSS.
Okay, back to you, David. Back to you as we close
the action. I'm not comfortable with you relating the action to Bullet Train because there are movies that have really well choreographed action sequences.
You didn't think that
and
this was conceptually like conception of
because I think this was along the lines of remember when we reviewed Phil, you and I reviewed Six Underground, a Michael Bay film. That's what I would relate it to. Just over the top, over CGI'd action sequences, which has its place in certain types of movies, and this was one of those types of movies, but I wouldn't call it like well choreographed. It was very CGI and very over the top and different. Well,
hold on. Let me go back and forth with you on this.
For example.
Okay, so I would agree. It's not top level. I just said that it's identifiable with Bullet Train and that it will stay in the mind where I can do that. But would you say? I think for me, I now find that any fight choreography, any fight sequence, I pretty much put the median of that to where if it's better than this, it's good. If it's worse than this, it must be bad. I put it as above any like Marvel fight sequence this side of Shang-Chi. Did you not think it was better than like an average Marvel fight sequence? I thought it was.
No, I didn't because most of it didn't make any sense. Like there were things that were happening that the characters would have had to have pre-planned it for that to work. It was like they were of one mind, which it didn't make any sense to me. And at least for the most part, Marvel films, on average at least, are grounded in at least storytelling sense, not necessarily real world sense, but storytelling sense. So no, there was like a moment where one guy like rips a branch off a tree that's on fire, and the other guy's not even looking, but he catches it and uses it to whack a British soldier. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense because how did he know it was going to happen? Because
of
literally
bromance.
Everything is happening in the moment. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, unless they have mind melding powers.
Chemistry. All right, back to you, Gary. You wanted to get in with one of your last points here.
Well, I was just going to say, I think it splits the difference because you see on the one side of the spectrum, you've got like John Wick, right? And they're right. It's like ballet, like they're dancing. It's
gun fu.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got like DC, which is like we're watching a video game. And I think that I found the action easy to track, and it was ridiculous, but I thought that it was easy to track, but they used a lot of digital. I usually hate the slow-mo. It was a little copious here too, but
it's very Michael Bay. It's very Michael Bay to me.
It's got all of that though to me, right? You've got the Michael Bay, you got the explosions and the what the fuck, he just threw a motorcycle with a grenade, and then you've also got the jumping off of each other, all the John Wicky type stuff. And so for me, the action was There
were moments of hand-to-hand combat that I was like, oh, okay, that that was all right.
I would say that those are its strongest moments that I'm actually looking
as soon as it got
to.
Lifting motorcycles and throwing them across the thing, and the other guys like catching it and.
Let me say to the listeners, you got to suspend that disbelief like from your soul when you watch this movie. Like if you're going in thinking like, oh, because it's in colonial India, like this is maybe slight historical fiction, but it's kind of true. No, I mean these guys are fucking superheroes. They got like Captain America powers, like they really do.
Yes, they really do. There are moments of disbelief where,
I think it's weird for like Americans, right? Because it's not a thing that.
Well, because because we used to do that with all of our old. It was like, what would that be? Anything
Jason Bourne, maybe, but even him
and Spider-Man 3, really, and prior, where we have come so far with our cinema, where there's a realism with Dark Knight and forward, where we want that vulnerability, where we don't want an invincible end all.
No, yeah, this is it's very 80s, right? Like just these larger than life ripped men who can do anything. Yeah, and it doesn't bug us. Yeah, that
I still think
it's
it
very
takes it
80s.
to a different level, though, like a
Yeah.
whole different level than anything like the 80s.
And I really, I again, my biggest complaint about this entire thing, beyond the, I can get into the hokiness of it, the cheesiness of it, all that I can get into. The length of the film is just undescribably bad. Like you cannot you cannot afford, unless this is a TV show. I do not need a flashback of what happened not even an hour ago. We're talking like 20 minutes ago. We were doing preemptive like flashbacks where, okay, we're alluding to something. And then they had the audacity to do a flashback after we then saw the long ass 40-minute sequence of what happened. And then not even 20 minutes later, have a flashback montage of what exactly happened. I said, we do not have time for this. It is too damn long. Get on with the story. Good God. That was my biggest fucking complaint.
Do you just not like long movies in general? Or for example, so Lord of the Rings is my favorite. Like, do you like Lord of the Rings?
No, I'm fine.
Yeah,
Wolf of Wall Street, I enjoyed. Titanic's my favorite film. That's a long one. A long length of film is not my problem.
That is your favorite movie. That's right.
That is. So length is not my problem. The problem is not using it.
How you use it
is how you use it, and then also mismanaging it even beyond. It's one thing if it's just unbearably long, but it was all filled with original content. When you start to get into inappropriate flashbacks of what happened not even 20 minutes ago, I have just an awful time getting beyond that. David.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that helps me meander into what the biggest drawback for me, and I already mentioned it with the songs, you know, how they kind of literally spoon feed you the plot. I can't stand that. But there was also a lot of it throughout the dialogue and just the scenes in general, the plot in general. They just got to lay it on real thick what's happening. One example, there is a scene, if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the movie, but you don't care about spoilers, then this, okay? There's a scene where the bad guys are looking for the good guys and they're hiding in this like temple or house or something.
Yes.
And they're searching and they're hiding in the back, and one woman comes out to try to get the British soldiers, the bad guys, to leave. She says, "Oh, please help us. People in there have smallpox." And the British guys are like,
let's get out.
Smallpox? Let's get out of here. We don't want any of that stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. That seems like a normal thing, a normal scene in a movie. Yeah, I've seen that before. No problem with that. Then they had to include a scene, which, as short as it may have been, or a little exchange of dialogue, as short as it may have been, also contributed to the runtime unnecessarily, where the main guy comes out from the back and says to the girl, like, "Hey, you said that there was smallpox. Hey, who here has smallpox? I'm curious." And she's like, "Oh no,
come on, there were 3 lines.
I just said that so the British soldiers would leave because no one has smallpox." Clever, right? And I'm like, we got that already. That was so unbelievably clear to the audience. You did not have to spell it out. I hate when a movie assumes I'm so stupid. And look, I'll say Western movies are somewhat guilty of this sometimes as well, but not to this extent, man. Oh, it was horrible.
And the whole movie is doing that in the way that they talk. And that to me is in line with what I said earlier in the movie. They are showing everything, like the zooms, the productions. To me, the way that they talk is also part of that deal, right? Where it's like it's very obvious. It's like classical and almost soapy, right? Like
it's like
they say it,
a Greek tragedy. Like really ancient theater where things were like spelled out for the audience.
You've got mumblecore, and then you've got RRR way over here. No subtlety whatsoever.
I'll say this as a disclaimer because I'm being very harsh on the movie, justifiably or not, doesn't matter. The songs, for example, like I relate it to Greek theater, where you might have had a narrator who comes along and does the same kind of thing where he'll narrate what's happening, and it's maybe necessary or not. but at least that generally is done in a very poetic way. The songs in this movie that really lay out the plot for you, I was only reading subtitles. And so in the original language, it may very well have been more poetic and there may have been more nuance there. And so full disclaimer, I do not understand the original language. I believe it's in Hindi. That's what Netflix told me, at least.
Right.
So I'll say that it irritated the crap out of me watching it, but maybe not necessarily, but maybe in its original language, it's less, spoon fed.
Okay. So overall, I think we've said our entire piece on it. Would you one, and let's go around the table here. Would you recommend somebody else to watch it? We already know Gary obviously would. He recommended us to watch this. But David, we'll start with you. Would you recommend somebody else to watch it? And what would you rate it?
It goes
0 out of 10.
Saying no, I would not recommend this to anybody. Anybody, at least not anybody I know who, because I don't really know anyone who watches Bollywood or Tollywood films. So no, rating, I'd give it either half a star or 1 star, which for me is half a star is like just outright bad, and 1 star I believe I consider generally like just has very few merits.
Wow. Are we doing out of 5?
Out of 5, yeah.
Out of 5.
Let me make a case real quick. Let me just say if you haven't seen it and you're like coming out of this conversation like, should I watch this thing? I say yes, because it's good to watch things that are different. Like David said, just because they're different doesn't mean that they're good. Yeah. But this movie made me want to go watch more international films. And I've been watching some weird shit since then. A lot of it I'm like, ugh, but some of it I'm like, wow, I'm happy that I watched that, right? And if you are leaning towards you like action, or if you're someone like my mom who doesn't like action, but she likes the big emotions and the songs and all of that, I think that, you can introduce it to some people. And for my stoners and for my drunks out there, this movie completes the holy trinity for me, which is you can enjoy it sober, you can enjoy it drunk, and you can enjoy it high, and you will have 3 different but compelling experiences. So for me, for what this movie is, for what it's trying to do, I think it accomplishes it, and I would give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Well, using my role as probably the mediator in this, as I am probably most in the middle between the 2 extremes that you both represent, I would recommend it. But of course, as with anything, I usually do my recommendations to whomever I think would enjoy this. Had I been fresh, I don't know that I wouldn't have recommended this to David. I probably would have recommended it to Gary. So there we go. I would recommend it.
You got to know your audience, folks.
Got to know the audience.
I wouldn't show my grandma this movie, and she loves movies.
God, Virginia would not love this movie at all. I love Gary's grandmother. All right.
I mean, you give it to her in a foreign language, she's already like, I'm out.
That's
give her throwing the leopard, she's done, dude. She's like, I don't want to see that.
I would actually, I'm going to go right down the middle, 2.5 stars out of here. I don't know if you actually agree with this, David. We never actually discussed this, but very quickly, I thought that the main person who is the turncoat with the majestic mustache, my lord.
Oh, Ram, dude, his facial hair game is
strong, and I thought his acting was actually quite good.
Honestly, from both of them, I would say both of that had some really nice moments. And I wish I spoke the language, or at least I understood the language to appreciate it more, because there were actually a couple moments that were very the writing did not service these men well, I don't think. But yeah, there were a couple moments, few and far between, where they really showed some
talk about some true triple threats too, right? The dancing
and the singing. Great. I don't know if they were doing their own singing, but it was good. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. It irritated the crap out of me that the singing didn't sync up very well, or at least the words didn't match what they were.
It was like the whole movie was ADR.
Yeah, the whole. Definitely. It most certainly was.
It was all ADR.
But it almost looked they were saying different words than the song was actually. Yeah, that bothered me.
Yes, I think that there was probably something lost in translation there, very possibly. So, okay, there we go. A film we are reviewed. Gary, again, congratulations on your victory lap. You got the most out of both of us. That is 3 hours of my life.
I really did, dude. I'm so sorry, David. I appreciate you being game for the homework I gave you. Now I know a little bit more about you. Yeah. Now I know you more, so I can pick for you better.
I love international cinema. I do. I just.
Are you going to be going to the theater with me to see SSS once it comes out?
Where's it from and what is it?
No, I'm just. It's the RRR sequel.
Yeah.
Oh, SS. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. You know what? Why not? Why not? Sure.
We'll get slammed and see
as long as it's 2 hours long and not 3.
Yeah. No, they're gonna double
I'd even take 2.5. Just cut out the damn flashbacks. Onward with the show. This episode of POWWOW Podcast is sponsored by Sides.
Meet Sides. SIDES, an app that helps you take the law into your own hands.
Turn ordinary agreements into binding contracts in seconds. Then if a dispute arises, Sides will step in to resolve it for you.
What, Phil, that was supposed to be my line.
What did we agree to in the contract?
I don't know. I guess we can use Sides to settle this dispute, because each dispute costs a small one-time fee.
And if you win, which I will, it's all awarded back to you.
Sign up now and get 16% off for a limited time only. Well, we are doing Mad Libs this week as our mini segment, and we have Gary staying on as a guest. Because why the frick not? Yes, let's do it. Okay, so I have a story prepared, and you guys will take it. Well, maybe you can work as a team.
Yeah, we're working in tandem, yes.
Yeah.
We're going to do that bromance, bro chemistry to make a good story.
5 words or things that I need from you guys to complete the story, as I'm sure you all know what Mad Libs are. Let's do it. So first, I'm going to need a verb.
Gary, why don't you do this? I feel like you're going to think of a nice spicy verb to get us started on the right foot.
Ooh, a nice spicy verb. Let's say jackhammering.
Next, I would like an activity that one does for the first time in life, like a milestone activity,
like
a milestone, a milestone event, or you know what? Yeah.
What about retiring?
Sure. I'm going to put retirement.
Sounds good.
I would like a noun, please.
Gary?
How about Cholula?
Okay.
Always got it handy for my podcast.
Philip asked for spicy, right?
I did ask for spicy. There's nothing spicier than that Cholula woman, let me tell you.
Oh, man.
Gary, have you ever tried the sweet habanero?
Yes.
It's the greatest thing in the world.
Dude, yes. I did not know that there were Cholula variations until Costco started carrying them. Hell yes, dude.
The sweet habanero is it's so good. So good. I would like a plural noun.
Would zombies work?
It would work.
Okay, then let's make it work.
What about zombie strippers?
Oh, we want zombie strippers. Put zombie strippers in there. They are zombie strippers. They've got to go to college too.
Fun fact, I co-created a cocktail called the Undead Porn Star.
Nice.
All right, next from you guys, I would like a generic location. So I'm not looking for like Spain or Philip's house or whatever. I'm looking for a generic location, like something that every city might have. Every town or every whatever.
Gary, would you be all right with Chuck E. Cheese?
Oh, hell yeah.
Let's go with Chuck E. Cheese.
Not very generic because many dreams have been broken there, but yeah, I do like it.
The ball pit of despair.
Exactly.
Just for clarity, I like to create these stories as though they were very clearly about something specific and then just take words out and yeah. Here we go. It's a short one. Time to jackhammer, my dad called from downstairs. You don't want to miss your first day of retirement. I grabbed my Cholula and raced downstairs. I was so excited and so nervous, I could feel the zombie strippers in my stomach. My dad drove me to the Chuck E. Cheese and waved as I left him behind.
Oh, first day jackhammering at Chuck E. Cheese.
Celebrating retirement.
That's what I want to do.
And not without your Cholula.
We are joined still by Gareth as he is taking his victory triumphant parade or parade, depending on how you'd like to pronounce it, with us throughout the entirety of the podcast. So, Gary, since you are my guest by all technicality and all right, that means that before we start our game, I get to ask you one question while David gets to ask you two, as we just want to get to know you a little bit better. David, what is your question, your first one, for Gary?
Gary, what, if anything would it take for you to cut your hair tomorrow? You have very long, luscious locks.
Oh, dude, that's a question I wrestle with every day in the shower when I'm like, I gotta wash this freaking mop again. Amount of money, anything north of $5,000.
No, it's got to be more than that. Gary, I offer you $1,000. You're not saying no.
Would you actually give me a grand to cut my hair like today?
No, but
is this happening?
No. But I'm saying,
you know what?
Who's gonna?
Opportunist, Gary.
You give me. I'm just speaking for myself. I realize I don't have the luscious mane that you do. I understand that. Anybody who has not seen Gareth Boucher, go right now and find him on all the socials. But he has like very long, like almost like basset hound levels ears of length of hair. So I get that it's a lot more than I can give you.
I was thinking like Julia Roberts. Your hair is very Julia Roberts.
Oh,
sure. Yeah.
Dude,
Prime
take
Julia
me out to dinner first. Wow.
But
I'm trying to make it happen, Gary.
You give me like $300, and I'm willing to go full ball.
No, dude, this is years of turmoil and wearing hats because it looked bad. I would say $5,000 or an all expenses hiking trip to New Zealand, which breaks my heart. Because the reason I started growing my hair was because I had a trip planned for New Zealand and I really wanted pictures of me with the wind blowing my hair in the mountains. But I'd still like to go. So if you were going to do that, I would do it. Or maybe you
can shave it or chop it off after you take the flowing pictures.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Actually, that's a perfect deal. So $5,000
that can be your counter offer to whoever is offering you $5,000 for your hair. That can be your counter offer.
That's what I would spend the $5,000 on.
Take a picture of me first, and then
on the top of the mountain, get rid of it.
Or you can use part of that $5,000 to buy a wig. Next, which serious but true historical event would you want to see with a big budget on the big screen, but it has to include a Bollywood-style dance number in it? So we could be talking the Civil War. We could be talking something that has been done. We can be doing something that has not been done, like I don't know, like the GameStop crisis here. That just happened.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know if this has been done, but Henry VIII and his wives. Because imagine a Bollywood number with like 7 headless women with like the heads singing and the bodies. I just think that there's a lot of potential of what you could do with the severed heads. And the bodies, and Henry in the musical number.
Oh yeah,
you just opened up the whole Pandora's box, taking off those heads.
It's definitely soap opera-y enough.
Gary, I have a great reassurance for you. There is a current musical that opened recently on Broadway. I think it's like the past 3 years. It's called 9, and it does talk about all of the King Henry's 9 wives.
What?
Yeah,
6.
What?
He had 6 wives.
6?
Oh, 6? So maybe it's 6. But I'm
okay, so I swear to God, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So this is a good idea.
Yes, 6. Yeah.
Do they carry around their heads and they sing and then they kind of...
I know that they carry around baskets. I'm not sure if there are heads involved in those baskets.
Baskets open, they're like...
Yeah. All right. David, your last question here for Gary.
My last question... Gary, in a post-apocalyptic world where a new generation of children are growing up in the post-Judgment Day society, what single movie would you show these kids to show them the world before?
So this is half for the kids and half for me. Maybe a surprising pick. You think of your cinematic epics and whatever. No.
Joe Dirt.
Tommy Boy. No. I pick School of Rock. With Jack Black. Showing the kids what a school was like, what good teachers were like. Also, rock music, my favorite type of music. We're going to keep it alive in the apocalypse. He's got all the classics playing in that movie. It's a happy, optimistic movie, right? And these kids need that.
So when the meteors are falling and you're looking at your DVD collection, you can only grab one DVD. You're like, in the future, I'm going to show this to everybody.
For the purpose of showing the kids.
You're going to grab... School of Rock, cool.
I'm hovering over Star Wars and I'm going to get School of Rock.
Okay. Kids,
yeah.
Do you want to see what a real leading man looked like? I present to you
Jackius Blackius.
Jackie the Blackest.
Do you ever watch Reign of Fire with Christian Bale?
Yes.
With the dragons.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a scene where they perform some version of like in theatrical form, some version of Empire Strikes Back. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
For children.
Okay.
It's a surprisingly good film. All right.
It is actually, yeah.
David, right. Gary is my guest, and so that means it is your game. Let's discuss with the people.
All right. Well, RRR was our main topic. We to discuss that movie at great length and in great volume. So I thought 3 letters. Let's look at groups of 3. So the game is the game master presents 2 things out of a group of 3, and you guys will have to buzz in or just shout out as quickly as possible. Are we doing buzzing? What do you want to do, Phil?
Yeah, let's do buzzing. Let's buzz
with the 3rd thing. So what I actually kind of want to do is maybe list 1 of the 3, and then you guys can buzz in if you want, and then list the 2nd of the 3, and then you guys one of you has to buzz in and name the 3rd if you can. Okay. So Gary, you understand the game?
Yeah, you're giving us either 1 or 2 things, and we're guessing the 3rd thing.
Yeah, the 3rd thing in the group. Yeah, it will be a group of 3.
If you guess 2 and 3 off of just the first one, do you get 2 points? Should we do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
that sounds fun. That sounds.
How do I buzz? Do I go?
No, name. Just say your name.
Name is your buzzer.
Got you.
Okay,
not
Gary. Would you rather face me or Filippo?
Well, you know what? You and I had such differing opinions on the movie. Let's duke it out. Let's go me and you.
Okay.
Cool. Will they become friends or will they become lifelong enemies? Enemies. All right. So I'm not entirely sure if my game will fully function the way that David has envisioned his, but we will try it. We will certainly try it. So I'm going to be giving you both a list. Your name is your buzzer. Gentlemen, yes, David, you do have a skipping stone based off of your victory last week. So if you want to skip, do not use your name. You just say skip, and we will skip going to another one. I do have 6 of these prepared as well as a tiebreaker. If you guess, that means that your guess is over. So there could be a possibility here where no points are awarded at a round. Here we go. First one. Luke.
Gary.
Gary's going.
Leia and Han.
That is true. The category was original Star Wars trio. Gary is on the board for the first 2 points of the game. David, you have a hill to climb. Here we go. The second one. Elizabeth Swann.
Gary. David.
I heard Gary first.
Jack Sparrow and Will Turner.
He is on the board for 4 points.
Elizabeth.
I was going for the original Pirates trio.
All that without a drop of rum. Why is the rum gone? I love those movies, man.
Okay, here we go. This next one is going to be the start. I put these progressively more hard as we go along. So this next one's going to be a bit harder.
That's what she said.
Thank you. Thanos.
Gary.
Oh, Gary's buzzing in. Here we go.
Gamora and Nebula.
That is incorrect. David.
Oh!
David, do you want to guess now for the 2, or do you want to hear the second name?
I would like to hear the second.
Loki. So, one more time, it is Thanos and Loki.
Yeah. Damn it. This is a lot harder. It escalated quickly.
It did. Gary, I'm curious, don't say it, but do you know the answer based off of the second name now? Do you have a guess at least? You have a new guess?
I would have a guess, but I'm not confident with it.
Not confident. David, we are getting to the time. I'm going to need a guess here. 5.
I'm just going to guess that maybe this is a group of 3 Thor villains. Make any sense?
5.
Gosh
4,
darn it. Okay,
3.
Ultron.
The category was original 3 Avengers villains, and it is Ultron.
Oh!
There we go. So David gets a point. Gary leads 4 to David's 1. David will eventually, without using his skipping stone at some point, or perhaps using it, will need to get 2 points somewhere in these last two questions.
Yeah.
Here's the next one. Snow White.
David.
I'm
just gonna go for it.
You need to get the next two.
Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty.
Incorrect.
Damn it.
Oh.
Gary, do you want to guess? Or do you want the next name?
Give me number 2.
Cinderella.
Am I allowed to? Can you tell me what David said?
I
No.
I'm not at liberty. To say.
Okay, so we got Snow White, Cinderella. I think he said Sleeping Beauty. Snow White, Cinderella. Who the hell am I missing from back then?
I'll give you a hint. It's not Pinocchio.
Thank you for that. Snow White, Cinderella. I don't. It's Jasmine. I don't know it.
Jasmine
is incorrect. The category was original Disney princesses, and it is Cinderella, Snow White, and Aurora. David, her name's not Sleeping Beauty.
Come on.
Aurora. Her name is.
I
Aurora.
know what her name was. Oh, dude.
That's like calling the Frankenstein monster Frankenstein. It's actually Frankenstein's monster. There we go. All right, gentlemen. David, you cannot win, but we will go to the last one.
My
and
streak
see if
is broken. I was on like a 4-game winning streak.
Gary, I might just kiss you for accomplishing what you did.
Hey, this is the Bromance podcast.
David, you still have a skipping stone should you want to.
Yeah.
First one. Shrek.
Oh, Gary.
Donkey
and Fiona?
He is correct.
I thought they got progressively harder. This is some BS.
I was expecting a skip somewhere in there. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but Gary has a high score of 6 points to David's 1. Let's go to what it skipped. We won't go to the tiebreaker, but we will go to the 6th question just for fun here. Guys, the first one, Alvin.
Oh, no way.
Chipmunks.
It is. Do you happen to know the other 2 chipmunks' names?
No.
It is Alex and Albert.
Alvin, Alex, and Albert. That would be funny, but no. It is Alvin, Simon, and Theodore.
Okay.
Somewhere in the dark recesses of your mind. I'm sure you knew that. All right.
Would not.
Cool.
Gary, you win yet again on an episode based entirely around your victory. I'm hoping that was the last victory you get, as I need a victory, Gary. I need it. David, your game.
I'm gonna sweep this podcast, and then it will be
Here
mine.
we go.
Sweeping beauty.
Go. First question. Tom.
There's too many Toms out there, yeah.
Dick.
Philip. Harry?
Harry is correct.
Oh.
Harry. Phil, you get a point. Phil leads 1-0. Question 2. Athos.
Philip. Athos. Pathos. Oh, is it? Oh my. Okay. Is it?
Athos.
I'm
just gonna stop you right there because you're already wrong.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Okay, continue.
Gary, do you want to guess before I say the second thing?
Give me number 2.
So it's Athos.
Oh,
Porthos.
Fucking damn it.
Ethos.
Ethos is wrong. You're both wrong. It's Aramis.
Athos,
Porthos, and Aramis, the famous 3. Is there a more famous group of 3? The 3 Musketeers.
To be fair, though, there is a 4th Musketeer. D'Artagnan might have been.
Yeah, but he's not part of the 3.
I studied film at GCU, so don't. Oh no, I went to ASU. So don't.
You know what sucks is that I literally saw this last night, and I just could not remember.
Which movie did you see last night, Phil?
Oh no! In preparations for writing my own game, I saw the.
I see. Okay,
but I could not remember the last name. Damn it!
Okay, group of 3, number 3. Philip, you still lead 1-0.
I got a chance. Let's do it.
Kelly Rowland.
Oh jeez.
Michelle Williams.
Philip. Gwen Stefani.
No, not Gwen Stefani. Gary, do you have anything?
Sandra Bullock.
No. Okay, good guesses all around. Maybe. No, the correct answer was Beyonce Knowles, Destiny's Child member.
Oh,
yeah.
I mixed up. Who was it? What was the second name?
Michelle Williams. I was thinking of an actress.
I was thinking of Hayley Williams, I think, from Paramore. So I was like, oh, this must be like rock punk bands with female singers. So that's why I went with
Well,
Funny.
There you go. This tight game. Still 1-0 to you, Phil. Question 4. Good.
I want to say stuff, but I'm not going to.
I know. It's too vague.
Too risky right now.
Bad.
Philip?
Oh,
Philip, what?
Indifferent?
No. Gary.
Ugly.
Ugly.
Look at that in the ugly.
Oh.
I couldn't say the good, the bad, because then it would have been obvious.
I guess.
Well done,
Okay,
Gary. You tie the game going into the final question. Executive.
Oh, Gary.
No!
Gary.
No!
Legislative and judicial.
Legislative and judicial. Yes,
I went to school, baby.
Woo!
The 3 branches of government. Oh, wow.
Read it a weep, Philip. This is my podcast now, boy.
Oh, wow.
I want to hear you squeal, boy.
What a Gary-dominated game. Oh, wow. Gary.
Do we have one more?
No, that's it. No,
that was it? Oh, I won!
Yes, that's why.
Phil hadn't earned a skipping stone or anything from last week, and he won't have one next week either because you won. Gary, well done. 3-1. The score is coming from behind. That's what she said. Wow.
Next week, we make Philip watch all the Evil Dead movies, and we'll just see what happens.
Hell no. You know how many games you'd have to win in order for that to happen.
From that, I will just say, I'll just take it to mean, Gary, that at some point next week or else, you are coming back on, and we look forward to it.
Thank you for having me. This has been a great day. Suckers.
And with those pair of L's that Gary handed out to both of us, I go down to 11 and 17, while David goes to 15 and 13.
Here we go with That Slaps, and we have Gary with us because Gary, this is your episode of POWWOW Podcast. You earned to be a part of just about the entire thing. So, welcome to That Slaps, where we present a piece of media, whether it be a song, a movie, or a piece of like a season of a TV show, to the listener. This is great. Check it out. This week, am bringing on a TV show, season 1. I haven't quite finished it. I haven't watched the final episode yet, but I can say hands down, from what I've seen from episodes 1 through 7, it slaps. Most certainly. Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
My God,
it really is so good. Like I was skeptical to say the least, and I am impressed. I have enjoyed it throughout. From every single episode, I thought has been very good. And again, the first episode maybe was the one where I just sort of was like slowly, I'm like, I'm not so sure. Let's see how it goes. But even that, like, is all very good. I highly recommend, if you're a fantasy person, check out Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power on Amazon Prime. It's primo. It slaps.
That's one thing we can agree on, man. I love Lord of the Rings. I've only seen the first 4. I'm catching up right now, but it's really, really good. I'm
very good.
I wanted it to be good so bad, and I'm like, it might not be the best, but I'm like, oh, it's good. It's really good, which is enough for me.
All right, Gary. David gave us what slaps for him this week. Gary, will you be so bold as to usher forth a She-Hulk recommendation for the listeners?
Ha! You know what, to be honest, so I like Marvel, but I'm a little Marveled out, and I had to take a break. I had to. I've been going back and showing my sister Star Wars.
Thor left a bad taste in your mouth.
Doctor Strange and Thor and all the shows. I'm waiting for Black Panther. I'll get back into it when that comes out. But that was really good. My thing that slaps is also season 1 of a TV show. It's a drama on Showtime. It's no longer running anymore, but was a very decorated and highly prestigious show when it ran. It's called Homeland. It's a movie about counterterrorism and a woman who's got mental issues trying to solve a terrorist plot. There's a lot of seasons. Season 2 is kind of taking a dip, but season 1 is like one of the best, just like 10 episodes of TV I had ever seen. So season 1 of Homeland, it's on Hulu, it's on Showtime. It's got Mandy Patinkin if you like The Princess Bride. Go check it out. It's quite good.
A very good, excellent recommendation there, Gary. It is my turn, and for the audience, I will be recommending, based off of the RRR theme, I came up with a song that I really enjoy with not one, but 2 R's in the title. And actually, ironically, Gary, I hadn't thought of this, but it's ironic that I have you on, as it comes from the movie Swiss Army Man, a movie that we reviewed on a separate podcast. It's called River Rocket. And it is by Andy Hull and Robert McDowell. Tremendous song. Realistically, the entire soundtrack is just wonderful and innovative and original, as the original soundtrack name would imply, but it is delightful. The song River Rocket from that soundtrack of Swiss Army Man, that slaps. Well, we are going to close out the podcast here. We have a couple of thank yous to issue before we do so. First of all, to you, Gary. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. It has been a victorious one for you to come into, and one that you are leaving victorious as well. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Academy of Philip and David for this great honor.
Well, you are very welcome from the bottom of both of our hearts. David, who else do we need to thank?
First of all, to Cass and Crossland and to Jake Corlang for the music that you hear on our show from the bottom of our hearts and from the hearts of our bottoms. Thank you.
Thank you to Tara Amstutz, Josh Huntz, and Ryan Ardell for their wonderful contributions to the entirety of the show. Could not be possible without you fine people in the background, pulling the curtains, pushing the people, and becoming, I don't know what else you could possibly do.
Pushing people?
Pushing the people. I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, thank you so much for doing what you do behind the scenes. We very much enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And of course, to you, the listener. Yes, you listening right now. Without you, what would all this be for if not just me and David talking about fantasy football? Ha ha ha. So thank you. Thank you so much for listening. If you have not listened to all of the archived episodes of POWWOW, make sure to go back and listen to all of them. Say subscribed. And you can find us on anywhere that you want to listen to your podcasts, all your favorite podcasts, whether that be Spotify podcasts, Apple podcasts, even Google podcasts, pretty much everywhere except for Pandora, because screw you, Pandora.
I would like to declare that I have shared this time with you in your 2 chairs. I just want to say, anytime, anywhere, this is a thank you from your friend, Care Bear.